Okay, good morning, lovely people, and welcome back to Carpool Careers with Jess. This is episode 2, and had the most exciting good morning text this morning. I have been waiting for an article to drop, and it just dropped this morning. I collaborated with Women on Top, who I found via Instagram, and they had an opportunity for me to apply to do an article with them, and so I applied. They liked my story, and the story dropped today. So I'm really excited, and so I thought I would basically use the next couple of, days to, I know most people aren't readers, so they asked me a ton of great questions, and I thought we could use the next couple of days to just kind of break down those questions so that for those of you who aren't readers, you don't have to read the article. I can just answer those same questions for you here. Also, for those of you who are readers and might be interested in reading the article, I'll drop the link below in the description of this video so you can, at your leisure, read through the article that they wrote. They asked me a ton of great questions, like I said, and I offer really great career tips and just advice on how to advance your career and write a strong resume. So if those are things that you're interested in, go ahead and read the article. Now, for the first question they asked me, it was obviously, how did your career start? And so I've shared this story a couple times on my Instagram, and the story is also on my website. However, figured since YouTube is a new world and a new audience for me, for those of you who are joining, you may not know my story, and so I figured I'd start there. So YOR Careers was birthed in the chaos of what was 2020. To make a long story short, 2020 was an awfully difficult year for a lot of people and a lot of industries, especially mine. I have been in hospitality for a very long time, and 2020 rolled around, and of course everyone's losing their jobs to the pandemic. And the unfortunate part about that is, in human resources, and I say this tactfully, you don't really have the luxury of being let go first, right? You have to have that conversation with everybody else and watch everyone else get let go and watch everyone else worry and cry and be fearful of what's to come next, and then you just kind of sit quietly in the corner and wait for it to be your turn. And so my turn came in March of 2020, and I lost my job in the pandemic and watched an industry that I loved and people that I loved just kind of crumble to pieces and not know what to do next. And so my thought was just, I have to do something. And I did something. I did what I know best, and I went on LinkedIn and I wrote, I wrote and I offered to write resumes for those who didn't know what to do next, for those who may not know what the next step in their career was, or how to even get a job outside of their industry right now when so many industries were laying people off. And that was the birth of YOR Careers. And so now we're here, and we're 2 years later at this point, or maybe a little under 2 years later, and I've helped over 150 professionals land better jobs and salaries in and outside of the pandemic. I've opened up career advancement programs to help people with mastering their interview, negotiating their salary, advancing in their career, finding their career if they don't know what they want to do just yet. And I've also, here we are with behind the scenes of YOR Careers, and hopes to at some point build, sorry, there's a truck next to me, hopes to at some point build something called YOR Community, where we can just foster a group of professionals who really want to grow and continue advancing in their careers and don't know where to start. And so I thought I'd share a little bit about my background and just give a little bit of a pep talk to anyone who has either started a new journey after the pandemic and isn't sure if they're on the right path yet, or isn't sure if they're going to see the ROI or the return in the decision that they've made for themselves. And just to give you some encouragement that hard work pays off. Obviously, and I'll be candid, obviously in the pandemic, business was booming. Everyone lost their job and everyone needed a resume. And when I came into 2021, still a strong year, but it's been a different type of year. It's been a year of, people deciding whether or not they want to actually go back into the workforce. It's been a year of people deciding whether or not they want to go back to the job they came from, right? Or back to the industry they came from. Or if, it's been a year of people deciding they want to be an entrepreneur. They don't want to work for corporate USA anymore. And, it's been me just trying to show up in that space over and over again. And just trying to be of value and trying to be useful to the audience that I can show up for. And, it's also been a year of me going back into corporate USA after being laid off for 9 months, and now getting to run a business while still full-time employed as a manager in corporate USA. And it's just been a very, very challenging year, I think, for a lot of us who have either made a decision in the pandemic that is still lingering today, and we're wondering, did we make the right decision? And I questioned myself a few times, and just trying to grow this business and trying to scale it and trying to reach as many people that I can, not for myself, just because I really do believe that I say this on my homepage on my website, which I'll link below, but I really do believe that there needs to be more HR professionals that are here for your best interest, for the employee's best interest, for the employee's success, and to have their success in mind so we can develop you into the next leaders for the next generation. And I don't think that there's enough HR professionals in the field who have that passion, and I want to be able to be that person for as many people as I can be, because as I'll talk about this in another episode, but there was a time where I was not succeeding in corporate USA, and I did not have anyone to show me how. And it wasn't until that one person came alongside me and decided to invest in me that I really had an opportunity to shine and grow and excel and exceed, the expectations that I had for myself and that everybody else had for me. So, I guess all I want to say is, for those of you who are out there right now, continuing to show up every day and choosing to give your best and work hard every day without seeing the return on your investment, the return will come. You just have to be patient. And I say that because this article was one of those things that, just came at the right time. I got that email in my inbox saying, we want to share your story, and bawled my eyes out. There's a video on my Instagram for that, and I bawled my eyes out, and I was just so grateful that someone wanted to share this story, and it just came in the right time, and I needed that extra push, that extra, pat on the back to be able to say, okay, I'm still in the path that I'm supposed to be in. So for those of you who are still in the path that you're supposed to be in but haven't seen that sign yet to remind you, keep at it and keep going. And if there's anything that I can do career-wise, answer any questions that you may have about, how do I advance my career? I'm not seeing the needle move for me in my career, or I just haven't seen any return on my investment. I've been in the same job for years, and I'm just not seeing any growth, any return on my investment in this company, in my department, in my boss, in myself. Let's chat, because if you haven't gotten a sign that you're still in the right spot, or you haven't gotten a sign that you're not in the right spot, maybe this is it, and I'd love to talk to you more about it. So sorry about the sun today. It didn't really work out in my favor. I've had a sun mustache for this entire video. But for those of you who watched, I really, really appreciate your time. And I will see you tomorrow, again, bright and early, with another episode on Behind the Scenes of Your Career. Thank you.